found a chair this time, so we're gonna be sitting in a chair, not on the floor. So production quality is going way up. Also, I'm gonna get my whiteboard. Ta-da! Whiteboard. Is that gonna be enough? Yeah, that's enough space on the whiteboard. So I want to talk about two books in particular and what they say about creating new life forms. So we're going to talk about Frankenstein and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Frankenstein and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Side note, I really like this cover. Very good. This cover is also fine, but it's less exciting. If you didn't know, Frankenstein's one of my favorite books, like ever. It's fantastic, and it needs to be talked about more, so I'm gonna do it. Okay, scratch that plan. My dry erase marker apparently was dry, and I couldn't find another one, so we're gonna not have a whiteboard. We're just gonna have to talk about books the old-fashioned way. Okay. So, I mean, we all know a lot about Frankenstein, probably. Even if you've never read Frankenstein, you're probably aware that Frankenstein is not the name of the monster, but the name of the scientist. And that's not really at all what I'm going to talk about, because everyone else has already talked about that, and I'm special. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is about artificial intelligence and androids, and if you've seen Blade Runner, you probably know a little bit of what this is about. I haven't actually seen the movie, adapted from this book, but I really like the book. So the premise is humanity has created androids, has created artificial intelligence that is so developed and so advanced that it is A, no longer distinguishable from humans, and B, superior to humans. And humans are now afraid. As I would be too. Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein, or I don't know if he's a doctor actually in the book, I forget. Frankenstein makes his monster, it comes alive, and he is terrified by what he has done. Both premises here are that a human or humankind, a corporation, and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, have created sentient life and is now afraid of what they have created. And I think that says a lot. One of my favorite kind of analogies, not analogies, one of my favorite comparisons to make in Frankenstein is, well, actually both of these, it's kind of what I just said about creating new life and then being afraid. If you look at the Genesis narrative in the Bible, God creates new life and calls it good. And in both of these, humans create new life and are scared. And I don't think that that's necessarily the intention of either of these novels. I don't think they're trying to explicitly draw theological conclusions, but it's kind of what I'm doing here, shocking nobody. But I really find it really interesting that both stories are narratives of humankind creating new life and then being unwilling to be responsible for the new life they've created. And in Frankenstein, he runs away. In Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, they just start hunting the androids. So it's destruction or abandonment is kind of our two solutions here. Which neither of which is responsible for having created a new life form. Sorry, buddy. So kind of the conclusion I draw from these books, and again, I don't think that this is what these books are about, but in a very literature-esque sense, this is the reading I'm doing of it. I sound so pretentious. It's fine. They both have this message of creation and fear and not having the responsibility of God. Like we are not God. We can't create new life forms and have it go well. Like, I mean, you can even tie this back into like the Jurassic Park movies. I actually read the book. I really, really need to. Maybe I'll do a comparison between the book and the movie at some point. But my favorite line from the whole film comes from Jeff Goldblum, surprising me. It's the God creates man, or God creates dinosaurs, God kills dinosaurs. God creates man, man kills God, man creates dinosaurs, dinosaurs kill man. And then, women rule the earth. And so I think it ties directly into that of being like, the responsibility of creation is weighty. And I don't think that that's something that we're really conscious of today. You can very easily read this as the first story of artificial intelligence, AI. This is absolutely about AI. And in today's landscape, you can look at this and you can look at AI and go, okay, there's responsibility behind creation that we're not taking, or that the companies making it aren't taking. And I think that that's an important thing to think about. One of my favorite movies from recent years is The Creator. It's a very underrated sci-fi film. I saw it in theaters, and I loved it. I'll talk about it at some point. The whole story is that man creates artificial intelligence, and like true artificial intelligence, and then gets scared of it and tries to annihilate it. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of like biblical imagery. There's a lot of talk about like souls and what makes humans and AI different. The movie's also just about the Vietnam War. So there's a lot going on in this movie, and it's really good and you should give it a watch. The weight and responsibility of creation is so massive and so huge and not something we're willing to talk about. Which is really funny to me, because why aren't we talking? How can we not talk about this with what we're doing? That was really rambly. I really like both of these books. I love The Creator. I like the Jurassic Park movie, so I should read the book. Again, Jurassic Park, you were too busy seeing if you could you're too busy trying to find out if you could to think if you should. I'm paraphrasing. Is kind of the argument against all of this, and I think it's a good argument. I think just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Shocker, I'm a philosopher, I know. But I think both of these novels are very good examples of just because we can do something doesn't mean we should do something. And if we choose to do something, we bear the responsibility to care for that thing that we create, and create responsibly. I think the easy solution is just to not create artificial intelligence. Anyway, that's my soapbox. Both of these are very good books. You should give them a read. And the other things I mentioned, Jurassic Park, The Creator. Yeah, I should talk about The Creator at some point. It has so much going on. It is a huge book or movie. It's a movie. It's about AI. It's about war. It's about the Vietnam War specifically. It's about the U.S. as a global superpower. It is weirdly pro AI, but I don't think that's necessarily. I think the way that they handle it is fine. I'm anti AI, but I think the way that they do this is like, well, if you create artificial intelligence that can think for itself, then you have to treat it as a living thing that can think for itself. And that's kind of the message I get from the creator on that. Whether or not you should, I don't think the movie addresses at all. And I think that's fine. I don't think it needs to. But you should give it a watch. Maybe I'll talk about it. There's a lot of explosions and guns because it's a sci-fi movie, but also it's really, really good. You should give it a watch. Cool. Well, that's really all I have. I guess I'll try and find dry erase markers before I do my next thing. I'll figure out where these went on the bookshelf. It's not very organized. My sincerest apologies. It's a tragedy, really.